Hey there! If you like smacking bosses, blazing through trap fortresses, making stupid dudes fall off a bridge, and teleporting around, then you're at the right place. Let me introduce you to the completely broken game that is Dark Souls Remastered. I want to show you how to beat the game in under 25 minutes without too much practice. But I also want to set you up for speedrunning this game in general. Therefore, I'll show you how to use the save file organizer, live split and other tools we use for speedrunning, and we'll do that in separate videos. Don't worry, that part might seem annoying, but it really isn't bad. The main video will explain what we mean by any percent, quickly explain the cornerstones of the route, and then follow along a run I played with the strats I will be giving you as beginner strats. For almost every section, I will show you multiple levels of available strats. Tier 1 strats are going to be the ones I used in the example run, and also the ones you should use to get your first run on the board. This guide is unique in the sense that I will also show you every optimal strat I know of. These will be tier 3 strats. Because I don't want you to be overwhelmed by the amount of information, I will put everything that needs a little bit longer to explain in separate videos. For the sections that have a nice in-between strat available, I will also show you a tier 2 strat. Tier 2 strats should not need insane amounts of practice and also not be reset heavy, so a nice middle ground. Links to all of the resources mentioned will be collected in a Google document, which you can find in the video description. For those who are not that familiar with speedrunning, we will quickly take a look at what any percent means. Speedruns of a game are usually divided into several categories, which have different goals and different rule sets. For example, the All Bosses category requires killing all bosses. The Force Quit category allows closing the game via Alt F4, and so on. The Any percent category allows everything except Alt F4 and has no extra rules. You're just trying to beat the game as fast as you can. Beating the game is defined as reaching the credits, for which we have to kill Gwyn, the final boss of the game. The logical question now becomes, how do we get to Gwyn? Using a glitch called Wrong Warp, we are going to reach Gwyn as soon as we have placed the Lord Vessel at Firelink Altar. So we need the Lord Vessel and be able to reach Firelink Altar. Now there are two ways to reach Firelink Altar, Karth or Framed. Karth is the slower option, so we will not go into the details here. To make Framed appear, we need to ring the two bells of awakening behind Gargoyles and Quelaag. Ringing the two bells also has the nice effect that the Zen's gate opens, so we don't have to do a skip to get through it, which would lose us time. Knowing that, we can do Quelaag and Gargoyles first, just walk through Zen's gate as it is open now, make Iron Golem fall off the bridge so we can travel to Anolondo, where we will kill ONS to obtain the Lord Vessel. I hope this helped you get some intuition about the route in general, but don't worry if you didn't get everything, as I obviously have to leave out some details here and there, and also assume some prior knowledge of the game. Now let's take a look at the example run. Our starting class is gonna be Thief, and as a gift we will choose Black Fire Bombs. I wanna quickly use this moment to mention that just because a strat is a tier 3 strat, that doesn't automatically mean it is also hard. For each section I will leave a short comment in the Google document, giving an overview of the difficulty for the strats for that certain section. We have a little bit of menuing to do before we kill the Asylum Demon. I chose to equip the straight sword hilt into inventory slot 3 on this ladder and do the rest at the door. We are going to remove the armor and equip the dark sign in a consumable slot. We're now going to kill the asylum demon with the black fire bombs. I will cover the details and every RNG in the tier 1 strat video. We will now dodge this arrow and then try to get to the door so fast that we can punch the hollow away from it so he doesn't block us. I overestimated my range and missed. We are soon going to do a quit out in front of the wall behind which Oscar is. We do this because the stand-up animation breaks the wall and we therefore won't have to bait the boulder. We now talk to Oscar to receive our Big Pilgrim's key and then Dark Sign. We will now open the Big Pilgrim's door and quit out. This skips the door opening animation, and because runs are evaluated based on in-game time and not real time, this saves time. We pick up the small soul to the left because we need it to buy stuff from Petrus. This stuff is what we will use to wrong warp. Don't worry, for now you don't have to understand wrong warp. I'll explain it in a separate video, which you again can find in the Google document. We will now dupe the soul we just picked up using a glitch called quantity usage. From now on, I won't say this explicitly anymore, but again, quantity usage will be explained in a separate video. We enter Petrus's Covenant and buy the 2 miracles Force and Homeward and also 2 talismans. We now head back to the new Londo elevator because we want to go through the Valley of Drakes. On this elevator, using quantity usage, we are going to dupe the humanity from Asylum Demon. We're also going to equip our 2 talismans. We dupe the humanity because it increases the drop rate for the Black Knight Halberd, which is the weapon we are going to use for this run. You might not need the humanity if you're running drop mod, but I'll explain all of that in a separate video covering drop mod, gadgetal mage, and all the stuff related to that. We will now pick up a bigger soul located in the left hand of the dragon. This is the soul that we will use for everything else. We will use it for leveling our stats and upgrading our weapon. The upcoming dragon has 2 different RNGs. The first one you don't have to do anything apart from running to the left of him, and for the second one you also have to roll the initial ticks of the lightning. You will now see me perform a really easy glitch called Upwarp. Upwarp is done by sending the elevator up, walking below it, and then quitting out. You can quit out earlier than what I did here, basically as soon as your feet are in the perimeter of the elevator. For the tier 1 strat, we'll just stand still and dupe the soul we have picked up in the Valley of the Drakes. We will now be leveling the stats we need for this run, and also attuning the miracles we need for Wrong Warp. Now we will pick up the Grass Crest Shield, or for short GCS, and quit out. With this we can make the Black Knight fall off, and he will drop us our weapon that we will use for the run, the BKH. I messed up my strat here, so I used a kind of backup. Normally this takes a little bit less time. We will now run up here and make our way to Andre, making a quick stop at the Titanite Lizard to get some upgrade materials, which we will later dupe at Andre to level up our BKH. You might be wondering why speedrunners of this game are always toggling or blocking while starting to sprint. We do this cause usually the sprint animation has an acceleration phase. By doing an upper body animation, we shove that acceleration animation out of the player animation queue and therefore directly get to the maximum sprint speed. Because some animations can't be queued out of, for example picking up an item, holding block is a nice option for that. So summing up, when starting to sprint you wanna do an upper body animation. Most of the times this will just be toggles. Here at Andre we will now dupe the Twinkling Titanite and upgrade our BKH to +5. Now we will do one of the arguably coolest glitches in this entire speedrun, and the glitch that the entire route is based on, called Homeward Wrong Warp. And we will use that to teleport back to the beginning of the valley, so we can get to Quelaag fast. We now want to get to the bottom of Blighttown. For that we will use a glitch called Delayed Rolls to dodge the fall damage, so we can get there quite fast. For this part you want to make sure that you do 2 rolls, then a short pause, into 3 rolls, into 2 rolls again. If you do 3 rolls directly or even 4 rolls directly, you can sometimes get shoved around by the first guy. That's quite annoying and loses time. Normally we will equip the BKH on the fog, but if you really wanna make it cozy, you can do it like you see me do in the background here, just equip it before. We will kill Quelaag by just staggering her to death. This takes some practice, but it's not really that hard to do. And even if you mess it up, you can also just kill her normally without the staggers. It's a little bit slower, but really no one cares. We will now ring the first bell of awakening, and afterwards directly Dark Sign. We now make our way towards Gargs, because the second bell of awakening is behind Gargs, and we need that to open up the Zen's gate. You see me do a quit out here. After a bit of trying around, I wouldn't advise to do this quit out, even if it might be scary because the one knight is running after you. You have enough time to throw the firebomb without the quit out, and the quit out can sometimes make the hollows in the upcoming room a little bit weird. So, but that is changed in the strat video for this section, so just look at that. I used this ladder here to menu my brightness back up, but if you are uncomfortable without it, you can also do it way earlier. It doesn't lose much time. The Garg's fight is honestly not that easy to do optimal, but you have so much damage that you really can't die. I will go over all the RNGs in the video, so you know exactly what to do. We do some menuing here. Exactly why we do this menuing and what we do in this menuing, I'll explain in a separate video. It's not that important right now. Now we will just ring the second bell and then run through Zens to get to Anolondo. Zens can be a bit tricky, but for the tier 1 strat you just copy exactly what I do here. This is really comfortable. It's a bit slower of course, but you just wait everywhere and make it super comfortable. I'll admit strafing this was a little bit cocky. You could also just roll that if you're waiting anyways for the blades. We'll quit out right here to not get hit by the boulder. Make sure you run up the ramp a little bit before quitting out. That makes the timing for the upcoming blades a little bit more lenient. We now have to push this snake guy out of the way. We do that with our straight sword hilt. And as you can see, the timing is really quite lenient. We have a lot of time to spare. If you are at any point feeling a doubt in Zen's Fortress, it's probably just fine to wait a little bit. But yeah, after a bit of practice, that part won't be a problem anymore, I promise. The archer blocking the door, we call him Bob in speedrunning. He can sometimes be annoying and stand in the doorway in such a way that you actually have to kill him, but luckily I was not doing that right here. We want to unequip everything apart from BKH, so we have the fast movement speed and not the medium roll movement speed. And then make Iron Golem fall off this bridge. Sometimes you will have to wait a little bit longer for this fire to run out. I got a little bit lucky here and got a good cycle. And just like that, we're in Analondo. I will now head to the Analondo bonfire. Usually this isn't done in speedruns, but if you're just starting out and just trying to get your first run in, it can be a good thing to just take this bonfire. Of course you're gonna lose about like maybe 20 to 30 seconds, I never timed it. But then if you die in Analondo somewhere, you can just restart from here and don't have to run through Zenzite completely again. Now we will perform a different glitch to dodge fall damage, which is called meme rolls. Basically you just keep rolling in the air and then line up your iframes so that you dodge the fall damage. We will just unequip the GCS right here, so we have the fast movement speed again. And we'll keep the BKH for the entirety of Analondo. It's not optimal, but it's just comfortable menuing, which doesn't lose really much time, so that's what you should use when you're starting out. We can use this BKH to kill the painting guardians if they get in our way and stop us from passing. This first guy here is nice to us and doesn't get in our way, but the second guy here in a second will be annoying, so we just kill him with a one-handed R1. I have it in my muscle menu to check here, but if you do it like I just showed, you actually don't have to look there. Nothing can hit you. You need to be a bit careful about the gargoyle here. Sometimes he can hit you, like you just saw. If I didn't roll that, I probably would have gotten hit. This guy is similar. If he does the swoosh attack, then you have to roll, otherwise you can just run past. Because the BKH is so powerful, we can just one-shot that guy, so he doesn't annoy us. And then just run down to the next section. We'll have to look backwards here to dodge the incoming lightning if they shoot anything. Just like that. If you quit out here and just wait just past the last window, then the knight should fall off every time. But I'll explain this whole section in a different video in more detail. Again, just like the Analondo bonfire, because of the upcoming boss ONS, that is arguably the hardest boss of this entire speedrun, we will just take this bonfire. It of course loses some time, but if you die to ONS, you can now just retry, and it's just nicer for the first few runs that you're doing. That jump takes some practice, but it's really not hard. You should get it after a bit of trying. Be careful about this guy, he has an attack which you also have to roll. Because ONS is a really execution fight and really a hard fight to learn, which just takes a lot of experience, we will use a glitch to AFK the first phase of the boss. You will see me struggle a bit here because I needed to remember my keybinds because I don't usually do this strat. But I guess this time lost is just another sign that a sub 23 is doable. It all looks a bit finicky, but to be honest it isn't really bad, nor precise, nor hard to do. Now we just run up to Ornstein and kill him. He can't defend himself, so yeah, not really hard. If Smo doesn't do the lightning bomb here, we can do one attack. I played this really poorly and got hit. But if you wanna learn how to actually fight ONS, you should watch the tier 3 strat video for this. Now we just make our way to the left elevator. The left elevator is 1 second faster than the right elevator, but honestly, just go to the one which you can get in the first cycle. Now we will just throw a firebomb lined up like this and kill Guinevere. So she gives us the Lord Vessel. Now we will Dark Sign and then perform the second homeward wrong warp of the run to finally get to Gwyn. We just sit at the Lord Vessel and warp back to Undead Parish and then do the homeward wrong warp. It's the same trick as we did for the Quelaag section, just with the difference being that we sat at the Lord Vessel now and not the Darkroot Basin bonfire. I want to note that unequipping your right talisman here, so both of your right hand slots are empty, is probably a good idea here. Because otherwise you can accidentally AFK toggle one of these Black Knights and then they will behave weirdly, and we don't want that to happen. I won't go into the detail what exactly AFK toggles are, but you can just sometimes AFK enemies if you're toggling between two different weapons. If you are feeling stressed, you could even quit out here to get rid of the Black Knight and potentially Estus if you're not full life, and to just equip the BKH really comfortably. This strat might seem a little bit daunting at first, but I would still advise directly learning it just to get as good as possible at it. And just like that, we have a sub 23 with all of the easy strats and really taking my time, basically everywhere. I hope this motivated you to try it out for yourself. It's really fun. Check out the Google document in the description for all the other resources this guide provides.